Happy Tuesday! I'm Emily May. Veda Scott is with me. And this is our post-show Boiling Point recap show. We have so much to talk about. It was a very
sorry guys,
weekend.
I was just waving into my ring light instead of my camera. Sorry about that. It's over here.
Great.
I just redid my whole setup and nothing is where I thought it was, and I realized that I'm just no. Hello.
Hello. Veda's here. We also will have a special guest tonight. Jael will join us in about 10 minutes or so when we get to talk about the big gauntlet match, because we're gonna talk about that. But I want to say hello to everyone in the chat. We have Big Mike, we have Mark's in New Mexico, Matthew Barnes is with us, front row as always. Big Mike, what else? Neil is here.
We got Neil, Paul.
Got some new people, some regulars. I'll let everyone trickle in. People are already talking about Men's Revolution. It was a really exciting weekend. As you all have heard, we will be going through some spoilers. So if you have not seen the show, you can go back and watch it on Title Match Network. And tickets for the next show are already on sale at missionprowrestling.com. You can, or Eventbrite. And the next show is October 21st. Thriller, and it is our special Halloween show, which is always really fun. And there will be an official Halloween costume contest.
And you got some time. You got some time to prep for that.
I mean, I know people that prepare now. So yeah, you might want to get ready for that. But we're gonna MPW Thriller is the next show. So you gotta do some thriller. We're ready. But we're still recovering from Boiling Point because it's boiling here in Texas. It's pretty hot here, and the show was really, really hot. We have not only a new Mission Pro Wrestling champion, Tiffany Nieves, won the big gold this past weekend. We also have a new Mission Pro Cup holder, Lady Bird, one half of Money Birds, took that home this weekend, and we had so many other things happen, and we're going to break it down all for you. Are you ready, Veda? Ready to break it down?
Let's go.
Is the chat ready? And I also want to make sure that everyone at the end of the night, think about it, what your match of the night was, because I want to hear it. I have a feeling I know what match it is, but we'll get to it. All right, we are going to kick it off. Now I have Taylor Swift stuck in my head. I think I know why. So I wanted to start with, we had an amazing pre-show match. We started with Denise Day versus Shay Carmichael. And we've talked a lot about this. Shay Carmichael coming back, kind of newer to Mission Pro, but she's coming back, a little bit more established, still pretty new. And then Denise Day made her debut at Mission Pro Wrestling, and she was so sweet, so excited to be there. And this was a really fun match to kind of kick off the show, get the audience really excited. And so everyone in the chat, I want everyone to let me know what you thought about this match. But just to kind of, we are going to go through spoilers. Shay Carmichael did defeat Denise Day in that pre-show match, and she came in really with some energy. And it was really nice to see. And everyone really liked Denise as well. I feel like these were two favorites of the night as well. Lots of fans afterwards talking to them.
Yeah, and we've talked about this too before. It's one thing, it's a huge moment to debut for Mission Pro. It's a goal for so many people. We know that it was a goal for Shay Carmichael. We talked to her about it. But now that she's gotten through that and she started to return, now it's all about getting wins. So she can move up the ranks, maybe get some title shots for herself eventually. So I think this is a huge step for Shay in her Mission Pro career now that she got this win.
Exactly. I mean, this is anytime you get a win. So when you go back to Shay finally got her first win, but Dreamcatcher has a lot of promise. So Denise Day, the Dreamcatcher, front was saying Denise was awesome in her debut. I mean, there was this show had a lot more pressure than I think our normal shows. We had a lot more eyes on this show, obviously, because we had championship matches. We had Izzy making her first in-ring debut. So there's a lot of, added eyes on this show. But I think everyone, that was the biggest thing that I realized. after taking it all in on Sunday, after it all, like all the quietness, all the loudness goes away and you sit in quiet, it really was fabulous to kind of have everyone just be so supportive of everything going on. And
Oh, thank you, front row. Yeah, I just moved a lot, and this is real now. This is not a green screen. Things have been moved around, so.
I know you have, what was the game? Kerplunk?
Kerplunk is over there, yeah. Kerplunk.
We were talking about having we should do like a Mission Pro game stream, because that'll be
We
fun.
also have several versions of Jenga back here as well. So.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll have a Jenga or Uno match at some point. Yeah, Tony loves it. I like all the lights too. So again, really, like, this was a really strong match to start the show. And I'm excited to see where Denise goes and where Shay Carmichael goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get into we're gonna get into the main show real quick. Matthew, I know we'll get to Lady Bird later on, but Lady Bird shine like a star in heaven, a true high flyer. Ooh, such poetic language. I love it. Let's start off the next main match that kind of kicked off the rest of the show was Nova Phoenix versus Queen Uju. And we talked again, Veda and I broke it down. Queen Uju was very strong heading into this, has a few matches under her belt at Mission Pro, but Nova Phoenix has as well. She's had various types of matches here at Mission Pro, and she was kind of coming back. It's been a while since we've seen her, and she really is kind of this really strong presence, fiery. And so they both brought this fiery presence to this match, and a lot of attitude. Nova was just like this bulldozer that just really tried to take Queen Uju down, but unfortunately, Queen Uju brought that attitude, that queen presence that we were talking about, and ultimately defeated Queen Uju.
Yeah, and like we've said before, that Uju is such normally like just a strong, dominating presence, like everything about her. And I think it's rare for her to step into the ring with someone that, like you said, you called Nova a bulldozer. Like, I think it's rare for Queen Uju to step into the ring with someone who, hits back just as hard as she does. So I'm sure this was a big test. Again, it's a big deal. She got the win, and that's important in Mission Pro. But like, this is a big test for both of them, I'm sure. And it was a good chance for Nova to just reestablish herself within Mission Pro.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's a good point. They both have this fire. And yeah, Big Mike says Nova and Uju was a very hard hitting match. It really was. When you really like break it down. I think during that match I kept going, like all the time, because it was one to watch that you just like couldn't keep your eyes off of it, because like I feel like the attitude was shown in the facial expressions, but also the body. Like I don't even know how to explain it, but it was really, really fun. And Front Row agrees with Mike that it was definitely hard hitting. So really we just like continued on with Boiling Point, and we're gonna skip kind of we got to get to some of our guests and some of the bigger matches, but I really want to go to our next match, which was JP Harlow of Men's Revolution versus Maya World. And I want to hear what the chat thinks about this, but I think I had some backstage photos taken of me on headset of this match, and I literally kept my mouth open the whole time because I was so shocked and blown away by how Maya World was so like captured all of the fans of Mission Pro. Like, she came out, Big Mike, Maya is our new favorite for pinning JP, because she did get this surprise win on this.
Yeah.
Which I feel like so many people thought JP was going to win this match. Maya won the match and was so incredibly acrobatic, was flipping around all the time, took charge of this match in ways I have not seen. Like, we've seen Maya World before, and she had an incredible debut at Mission Pro, and this proved that she can go against any person at any point. And all of the fans were behind her. They were chanting her name by the end of it. And that is what it's all about.
Yeah, and you were saying that there were lots of eyes on this show in particular. Not that there's not always, but in particular this show with all the title matches and Izzy's debut, and there's always just like an extra set of eyes on any match that involves Men's Revolution, mostly because we just want them to freaking lose. And
most people,
So I mean, this was a lot of pressure, I'm sure, for Maya, because like on the one hand, she's still establishing herself in Mission Pro, and you gotta have eyes in the back of your head if you're gonna wrestle any of Men's Revolution. But also, like, I don't know, it would have been a real bummer if she would have lost. I know it was a really tough match, but yeah, she had a lot. Like, she had kind of the whole vibe of the show riding on this.
Yeah, exactly. And like the energy of the show after this was like so elevated. Like people were cheering and they were like booing JP. And yeah, Joseph says, Men's Revolution gets on my nerves. So I think lots of nerves are bothered, Joseph. I don't think you're the only one. And this is the big announcement that happened, which goes into our October 21st show. Is JP after the match was very frustrated, was very angry, called out the Mission Pro roster and announced that he has an open casket match.
Yeah.
Oh,
the casket is open in the match
challenge. He put out a challenge there for anyone at the Mission Pro roster
that
wants to challenge him. At the October 21st show, there will be an open casket match.
But the match, I would assume, is still won by closing the casket, as is tradition.
Those are the traditional stipulations but we can ask Mission Pro management.
Okay, so what Paul says, JP will take on anyone in the casket match. That's a lot less confusing than how we were trying to say it.
JP takes on anyone in the casket match. Yeah, I was like, why am I making this so hard?
It's an open challenge, but he wants a casket match.
Yeah.
In addition to this open challenge.
I feel like we just made a tongue twister. I think we just made it more difficult. Yes, so that is the big news coming out, is that after that match, he was very, very frustrated, very angry. He always likes to call out the Mission Pro roster, likes to call out Thunder Rosa, likes to talk a lot. But you got to put your talk to action, and that's what he wants to do on October 21st. So.
Well, and like by making it an open challenge, that could be anyone. And I know it was like heat of the moment for JP, but like that could be anyone. And I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities that aren't going to end well for
exactly.
For JP.
I mean, front row, I think, everyone, if you have thoughts on who will answer JP's open casket challenge, that's an easier way to say it. Thank you, front row. We're a little brains are fried right now. But yeah, who will answer the open casket challenge? I don't know. But everyone, I know lots of people had some ideas during the show. People were tweeting. But it will be interesting to see. Joseph is saying he's excited and nervous to see. My feeling is that it won't be just somebody on the roster. I could see this being a debutante.
And there's also, like we always talk about how the roster too with Mission Pro, like it kind of changes from month to month depending on people get injured. There's different schedules. There's a lot of possibilities that you might not even be thinking of, I think, right now, who maybe are coming back. I don't know. It really could be anyone. And we don't know. I don't know. I have no idea.
Exactly. I mean, this is the exciting part, is like, we don't know, JP likes to call people out, and we've seen so many people step up to the challenge before. So we'll have to wait and see. So follow Mission Pro on all of our social channels, follow what's going on, subscribe to our YouTube channel, because you never know, an announcement or some type of something might happen at some point. So yeah, keep that in mind. October 21st, open casket challenge. It's up for grabs. So we're gonna get into next the Mission Pro Cup Gauntlet match, and this was a wild match. This was almost 20 plus minutes, Veda, of wrestling action. We had Joey Hyder of Men's Revolution, and Tina Nix. We had Casey Blackrose, Boss Baines. We had Alejandra Lyon, Jael, and Lady Bird Monroe all going at it in different phases in this gauntlet match to try to win the Mission Pro Cup. And this was such a wild match. We got to see everyone kind of have these amazing, amazing moments in this gauntlet match. But the person that came out on top was Lady Bird. And she is now the Mission Pro Cup holder, and she can cash this in for a title shot at any point, any moment. And that's really exciting. I think that's
yeah. I mean, Lady Bird is someone who has had everyone talking in Mission Pro and in wrestling in general. She's really started to make some big strides, and now that she has this title shot, you know, I almost said in the bank, but you know,
in the bank, yeah,
sort of, yeah,
in the cup.
Yeah, she has this cup. I have to wonder, like, we have, again, we're going to talk spoilers, but we have a new champion at Mission Pro. And I wonder if that happening even changes, like, the strategy that Lady Bird would use with this cup, too, because Tiffany is going to be a very different champion. She's a very different kind of wrestler than Jenna was. So I don't know. And I wish I was in Lady Bird's head and I could know. But
I know. I mean, it's interesting. I saw a lot of like fodder on social media already. You know, Lady Bird was so excited to win this Mission Pro Cup. Is already eyeing some gold, and Tiffany on social media was like, "Hey, calm down! Like I've just had it, a few days." So, so it's really interesting. Lots of people are like, it's already a part of the conversation, which is really cool. And Bob Burger, or does she use it on the tag titles? I think that's an interesting thing that I know we discussed previously as well. But what I would like to do is actually bring someone on, our special guest, Jael, who was a part of the gauntlet match. She was able, we had two new entrants and debuts, Tina Nix and Jael, at Mission Pro for this gauntlet match. So I just wanted to get her take on this. She obviously had to go up at this moment in the gauntlet match. She had to go against Joey, which Joey, again, is a really tough competitor. But I'd love to get her insight on this match, how she felt debuting for Mission Pro. And we'll talk a little bit about some other things as well. But I'm excited to welcome our special guest, and then we'll continue to break down some of the big moments. So welcome, Jael.
Hi, everyone. How are you?
Hi.
Yeah, you're welcome. Welcome. I'm so excited that you can jump on for our On a Mission podcast. I know the fans were so excited to see you on Saturday night. I know you were a new addition to our gauntlet match, and we were so excited to have you. But how did it feel to be able to compete in such a match at Mission Pro?
First of all, I did plan a very cute outfit with wonderful makeup today, and I am on the road, and I do not have my luggage as of now. So,
oh no,
this is all natural, baby, and we are going to celebrate that as well.
You are beautiful.
Thank you. The debut at Mission Pro was one I've been looking forward to for quite a while. The amount of talent that this women roster carries, as well as just hard work and dedication to the product, as well as always growing in their skills. It has been a dream to be able to debut. So I was so excited, and to be invited into this gauntlet match when no one truly knows who I am yet. They don't know what I'm capable of, but trusting me in that space to be able to have a match with Joey, who the fans do not like Joey. If I know one thing, it is they do not like Joey. And their reaction to me was so interesting because fans don't usually see a softer side of me. And so being able to show that a little bit here was very intriguing and interesting. And I don't know. I hope that I don't disappoint the fans when I go back for more.
I mean, Bob Burger says your kicks were great, very unique and innovative offense. So I know you shared with me a little bit about your background, that you trained for 3 years as a boxer and then transitioned into wrestling. And so can you talk a little bit about what that was like, so we can get an idea of your background and what made you shift?
Sure. Boxing will always be near and dear to my heart. I loved it since I first started it. I started kickboxing. So if we add a little bit of kickboxing, it's probably about 4 or 5 years. And I really wanted to understand the art of traditional boxing. And so going in just for a workout and then realizing, oh, I love this sport, and training to hopefully join the amateur circuit of boxing is when I got a job in pro wrestling on staff. And it quickly became this two different worlds of going back home and training, 4 hours a day, cutting weight to make my debut on in the amateur boxing. And then, the next day going to work, traveling for work, and being in this wrestling realm. It was one of those things where my heart was split in two. And there are other elements to wrestling. It is more of a longevity, career path. And so it was one of those things, honestly, that was, why not me, And so Dustin Rhodes actually caught me backstage, and I was talking with him, and I was like, I'm in Austin. I would love to visit your school. And he said, why? And I said, oh, you offered one time. So I thought I'd bring it up again. And he said, why? And so I was like, oh my gosh, you can't
The pressure.
And so I just said, sir, I've been thinking a little bit more about, wrestling and what that would look like. And so he's like, okay, come and meet my wife at the school. And so I go to the RWA, Rhodes Wrestling Academy, and they sit me down. They talk my ear off about all the reasons why I shouldn't do it. And then he looks at me and he said, but also I could totally see it and I believe in you. And so if you want to join, you should do it through me, and I'd love to have you. So that kind of started that journey. And the more I dipped my toe into wrestling, the more I realized that I truly love this sport, and it brings out a lot of weaknesses in me that I'm constantly growing in. And so that's kind of how I got started.
Wow. I mean, that's amazing to just hear that journey and how you got started. And you also have like a very special connection with AEW. You work in the AEW Together program. You help kind of build all of that. Can you share a little bit about what that role is like for you? Because I know Mission Pro tries to give back as well. Like we partner with the Salvation Army, and we try to give back throughout the year. And so I'd love to hear your perspective on that, working at AEW.
Of course. So with AEW Together, I had amazing people that came before me to build this community program. And when I was asked to join the team, I first started on social media, which, Emily, I believe you have a hand in social media for Mission Pro. If you don't, someone does. It is quite the task.
It's a beast. It's a beast.
Anyone for sure. That does it should be like given chocolates every single day. It's a tough gig. So when I transitioned over to AEW Together, it was currently AEW Community. And so our goal was to build it into a full-fledged foundation. And so I have about 10 plus years of nonprofit experience in disaster relief, foster care, financial crisis, you name it. I've had some pretty cool opportunities there. And so being able to build AEW Together and continually as a team elevate it to the next level has been a really neat experience, as well as you get to meet so many fans with the same goals. Yeah. Our goals are to make a better world together. And so to do that through AEW Together, to see our team thrive and to play on everyone's strengths has really been a joy.
I mean, you got a little taste of that. I saw some amazing pictures you had with the Mission Pro fans, like kids and adults, kind of fans of all ages. How'd that feel to connect with the Mission Pro fans already?
It was interesting. I say that only to describe it because usually fans are a little standoffish because of my offense, because of, the story that I try to tell through my wrestling is sometimes I do come off a little bit standoffish, and maybe it was Joey. Maybe he was that unlocking the key of everyone really hates Joey.
I mean, everyone hates Joey, so they're like, we like her.
But to see the fans' reaction, like I kicked, I wasn't able to kick out at 3 and rolled off the mat and thinking, oh, well, I blew it. Like my only chance at Mission Pro, I was only, able to keep the line for 3 minutes. And I know that I'm a rookie, but to come off that mat and then to have kids run up to me and want to fist pound me and say, good job, Jael, or what's your name? It was honestly, it took me back by surprise by the warm welcome that I got from Mission Pro.
Yeah.
So my question, because my question is, because you talked a little bit about like how you've, been able to incorporate some of your strengths in, outside of the ring. But I want to kind of go back to the boxing background, and how do you feel like that has influenced or paid off in terms of like your transition into pro wrestling?
That's a really interesting question. I would say that the style, I wouldn't call it street style because I'm not a street fighter. I've never been in a street fight in my life, but taking that grit and grind that you get from that boxing world where there is no air conditioning in boxing, there is no fluff, there's no, it's called the poor man's sport for a reason, where everyone is there to grind and they're there to put in everything they have because they don't have much else. And so taking that part and adding it into wrestling has been kind of a goal of mine, to capture that feeling of elation of when you do give it your all, to bring those strikes with me and include some kicks too, because why not? They're fun. I like taking people's head off by my kicks. It gives me an uncomfortable amount of joy to be able to take someone's head off by a good kick.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely did. I mean, a few of the comments from our fans, Jael became an instant fan favorite this weekend. That is true. I was watching the Twitter feed and everyone was, again, loves new debuts and new faces at Mission Pro. So they loved your look. They loved you coming out. They loved your attitude towards Joey. And Big Mike says, Mission Pro fans relate to heart and passion and that you earned it.
Thanks, Big Mike. Appreciate it.
And the punches. The punches look so solid, too. Well, that makes sense.
They're real. So there you go.
Well, we were so excited to have you as a part of Boiling Point. What's like your goals right now in wrestling? Like, do you have some other promotions you have your eye on? Do you have other people at Mission Pro you potentially want to face? Because I know our roster is pretty
spicy,
pretty stacked right now.
I would say any promotion that will take me. I want to grind. I want to put in that hard work, keep my head down, keep working is kind of my mindset. My objective is to keep learning from amazing veterans that have been in the process for a long time that can not only navigate in the ring, but outside the ring. And so, but I do have a few people that I have my eye on with Mission Pro. Lady Bird's always going to be the top of my list when it comes to the indie circuit because she is a grinder. She works hard and you see it through her art in her in her wrestling style. But I don't know, Tiffany, I got to know Tiffany a little bit backstage, and I hope I wasn't all smiles and giggles because I'm ready to bring the heat when she's ready.
All right. I like it. Yeah, no, we were so excited to have you a part of this. I loved hearing a little bit more about AEW together. Is there what kind of to go back to AEW for one more question? Is there a program you're working on right now that you're excited, or an event that you're working on that you're excited to get off the ground that you can talk about?
Sure. We just launched an official partnership with Best Buddies, which they're dedicated to ending the social and physical and economic isolation of over 200 million people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And so we're building out programs to work with their chapters And so we have one hopefully in Denver coming up where we activate our talent or, our pro wrestlers to partner and make friendships by doing something fun and engaging and organic, like bowling, or we have a karaoke night coming up. And so really taking the art of friendship and bringing it together to help the community and those that feel isolated. I think that has probably been truly my biggest accomplishment, not only personally, but professionally. And so I can't wait to keep building out that program with them and seeing where it goes, and also inviting fans to do the same. So if you ever want to be involved, I'm a huge advocate for them. Best Buddies is the name of the organization.
That's amazing. Well,
And,
thank you. And
I apologize. Next time we're in San Antonio, I would like to put out the call that if Mission Pro would like to work with us and partner on something to help a community initiative or something like that, we would love to have you as well.
Oh my goodness, that would be amazing. There's amazing communities in San Antonio that we try to help as well, and raise money through the Salvation Army for the Boys and Girls Club. So that would be amazing. We'll talk for sure. And I know the fans would love that too.
It'd be very fun.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Jael, so much. Do you have any words or anything you want to say to anyone that was a part of the, this gauntlet match was very tough. You obviously went against Joey there, and it was very tough. Is there any other words you want to say to maybe Tiffany or maybe to Joey?
Oh,
any final words?
I will say that Joey was a wolf, and I came off like the sheep in that scenario, but I'm not going to let my words speak for me. I'm going to let my actions. And so if you think I'm a sheep now, that's fine. Let's get in the ring and let's find out.
Well, and keep in mind, Joey didn't win the match either.
He did not.
In the end, he did not win the match.
He was in the moment, but
in the moment he did, but he got a little bit further. Unfortunately, he got a little bit further.
He was the roadblock for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Ladybird.
But
Ladybird, what I want. So
Ladybird taking down Boss Baines, which was really amazing to see. No one likes Boss Lames. So
Boss Lames. Love that.
All right, Jael, you could stay on and break down the matches with us, or I know you're traveling and probably have things to do, but probably have to go handle some things. But we appreciate you jumping on, and we can't wait to have you back at Mission Pro.
Thank you so much for having me. Y'all enjoy. I will still be watching, but I can't wait to hear your commentary.
Yeah, let everyone know real quick where they can follow you so that they can keep up with all your activities.
Instagram is _JAEL. And Twitter is _JAEL_ because I could not get one handle for each. As a former social media coordinator, you would think, but no, just look up _JL. You'll find it, and it'll be great. But
and it's in, and y'all, it's also in the tweet that Emily put out for the show today. Yeah. So if you missed all the underscores, they're all right there. You can just click on it. Here, I'm going to follow Jael. Follow. There we go. It worked.
There you go. Something works.
Something
works. Everyone follow her.
I just got it. There we go.
There you go. We could do two things at once. Thank you, Jael, so much. Everyone go support Jael. Follow AEW Together and all of their programs. And we can't wait to see what else you get to do.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it. Have a good one.
Bye.
Oh my gosh, I love her. We need to bring her back to Mission Pro Wrestling because I think that's going to be a dangerous combination with some of the other ladies.
Yeah, and it's a little bit of a different style than a lot of the Mission Pro wrestlers. Like it mixes in a little bit more of that like combat style too.
Yeah. Unfortunately, this did happen, Veda, that Boss Lames did inadvertently start a new thing at Mission Pro with his It was like a guttural scream that the crowd took and ran with the rest of the night. And literally the rest of the night, everyone kept chanting it at certain points of different people's matches, and it was annoying. It was annoying. No. It was very rough. I loved it. They embraced it.
It's annoying because it's annoying because he is annoying, and of course that would be annoying.
Yeah, he is annoying, Veda. Anyway, but yes, Joseph is saying that Jael, back to the really cool people, not boss lames, is a great interview, and she will be a great addition to the roster.
Yes.
Yes. So we have so much to still talk about, Veda. Heading into, so we had the gauntlet match again. Woo! Lady Bird taking that win. But then we started off with the Mission Pro Wrestling Tag Team title match. And this was Bougie Reality versus Friday Fever Dream, Mia Friday and MJ Santana. This, again, we have Bougie Reality has been Mission Pro champions for over a year. And so, again, we had this new tag team, Mia, MJ Santana. We weren't sure. They were friends. They were foes. They came together to try to beat Bougie Reality. And unfortunately, to MJ and Mia, they could not get the titles, and Bougie Reality retained the Mission Pro Wrestling title.
Yeah, when we talked to MJ and Mia, it seemed like they were like really gonna get this together and like get on the same page. And I really thought they had a great shot at dethroning Bougie Reality. And that to me says a lot because Bougie Reality has been so dominant. But it didn't go that way.
I mean, Maddie walked out ready to fight, ready to tear into Mia. There was a lot of action on MJ Santana's hand. There was a lot of promos that happened at the end of last week. Maddie just went off on MJ and Mia, saying that they were nobody, saying that they're not going to do anything, that they're not going to take these titles. And MJ responded with her promo of her own. And so there was a lot of attitude, a lot of frustration, a lot of anger going into this. Bougie Reality obviously brought this attitude to the ring. And Mia and MJ, though, they lost. But there was some additional things that happened where they were a little frustrated with each other afterwards. So they got into a little heated argument afterwards, which lots of the fans were wondering what is going to happen with this tag team. Obviously, the loss hurt them a little bit more than they thought, and I think this is something we need to look out for.
Well, it kind of just goes to show that this was a new team, trying to work together, and it seemed like they were going to really, be on the same page. But like you said, there were a lot of emotions behind this match, and I think there's a lot of individual emotions too. And Bougie Reality have a lot more experience riding that out. I think they've been friends and teammates for a long time, whereas Mia and MJ, like, again, when you're like all hyped up and so emotional going into a match and then you lose, that disappointment is really hard to channel. And because it's a new team, like, it's easy to blame, try to put the blame on your partner.
Yeah, I mean, Joseph said, how did Bougie Reality retain when Maddie seems to be wanting to go into business for herself? She put out that video, that video last week. I mean, it's true. It's like Maddie is kind of having this very heightened emotions at the end of last week. And Big Mike says, I think MJ made it clear that they aren't a tag team anymore. Front Row is saying, genuinely surprised to see such a new tag team implode so quickly. That is true. I think Front Row has a point there, is that we were so surprised that this happened so fast. MJ was getting her, her hands and arms completely like targeted during that match. They would just seem so exhausted and frustrated after that. And Joseph is like, I think they let their emotions from that controversial video get to them. That is true. There was a lot of Mike Groban. Mike was like, maybe Ricochet was getting a mani or petty during that Maddie video. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think the question is, we do have a strong tag team division here at Mission Pro. So to see a tag team just dissolve so quickly was really like lots of heightened emotions in this match. So if you all go back and watch it on Title Match Network, you'll see like right from the start, once the music hits, Bougie Reality, Mia and MJ, had such emotion into this. And you could definitely see that come throughout the match.
I mean, if I'm a tag team in Mission Pro and I see this like promising new young team not work out, that's good news for me because the tag division is stacked. It is so competitive. I'd just be thinking like, okay, well, who's next for Bougie Reality?
Exactly. And I think that's what I think that's what all the fans are wondering is like, what is next for Bougie Reality? And I think also the question is, what's going to happen with Mia Friday and MJ Santana? Does this mean that they're going obviously they're potentially going their separate ways? Are they looking for another way to get some gold? We have new champions. We have new Mission Pro Cup holders. There's a lot kind of varying options here. So it's interesting to see what people will think about and what they do next.
For sure.
Yeah. And who will step up next to challenge Bougie Reality? Would love to know everyone's thoughts. So put that in the chat or, tweet at us or, tag us on Instagram. Let us know who you think might step up to the plate. All right. Are you ready for two of the biggest matches of the night, Veda?
Yes.
Are you ready?
Sorry, I have Streamlabs up and someone just followed the Twitch channel and I didn't realize they had the alerts on. So I just got like an alert. As you said, are you ready? I got like a ding in my ear and I was like, is that my brain? I am ready.
It's you're like a game in itself. You're like,
yes, I'm ready.
All right. Well, one of the most anticipated matches of the night, a match that many say have been a debut we've been waiting for 8 years in the making. We saw Izzy Moreno versus Jasmine Allure, and this was one of the most emotional, historic, monumental moments that I think we've ever had at Mission Pro Wrestling that many will say is a canon event across the wrestling industry. We saw Izzy Moreno make her in-ring debut for the first time ever at Mission Pro. And I have to say the emotions were palpable. And if anyone was there in person, I know many in the chat were there in person and people watched it at home. But it was palpable. The moment Izzy hit that curtain, you could see tears are welling up in her eyes. You could see the little girl near her chanting and, ready to cheer her on. And this was such an amazing moment to see her debut. Margrove and Micah saying Izzy and Jasmine had an awesome match. And Jasmine brought the top tier. Jasmine brought everything that she got, everything that she had. And Izzy, I am so proud of her. Izzy responded to the challenge, responded to what Jasmine was giving her. And it was incredible to watch how for her first match, it seemed so seamless and natural for her. Like Ezra said, Izzy did an excellent job in her debut, didn't come out the victor, but won the hearts of everyone watching. And so, unfortunately, Jasmine did win this match. But again, this is Izzy's first match. So that's okay. Because the win is actually having your first match. And I think that's, that is a accomplishment in itself.
Yeah.
Front Row said the love and support for Izzy in the room and online was amazing.
Well, and Izzy had worked so hard and trained so hard to finally start wrestling. I think that, normally as a pro wrestler, like when you start to go through training and you're working and you're getting ready to have your first match, even before you know what that match is going to be, you kind of just like expect it to be a match. And a lot of times, like, nobody's really so much paying attention, like you kind of get to, figure out like what you do and how you are as a wrestler. But Izzy didn't have any of that. She had literally all eyes on her. Someone's mentioning like, Bailey was like tweeting about Izzy, and like literally people were tuning in to see this match. That is so much pressure. And then on top of that, it's not just any match. It's a match with someone who has been antagonizing you and coming for you, and someone who is just, well, literally top tier, like Jasmine Allure. Like, that is so much pressure, and Izzy just knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, to Joseph's point, Izzy Moreno finally stepped out and made her own identity. She was known as Bailey's superfan. And I think she was passing out friendship bracelets. She didn't give any friendship bracelets to Jasmine. She gave them to so many fans that night. And what's important about this is like, this identity is like, she knew exactly what gear she wanted. She knew exactly what she wanted, and she was willing to do anything to get it. And you saw the dedication to training, the dedication to posting about her journey and her process, and it really was incredible to watch. Big Mike says Jasmine is one of the most ruthless competitors in Mission Pro. She is also dangerous and rude. Let's talk about this rudeness real quick, Veda. There was a moment, which I'm sure you've seen the clip online, but there's been a saying, which I cannot say here because we'll need to bleep it out. There was the little girl that was standing near the entrance, as Jasmine was leaving as the winner. Jasmine rudely ripped up her sign, made the little girl cry, and it was heartbreaking to watch. And Izzy, as the compassionate and kind of had this amazing full circle moment where she was able to comfort that little girl and, hopefully make all things right in the world. But it was a beautiful moment for that part, that Izzy was able to make a memorable moment for that little girl like Bailey did for her. But Jasmine also was very rude. So
yeah. And again, we've just seen this out of Jasmine time and again, and it just seems like every month it's getting worse. And even in defeating Izzy, that wasn't enough. And I think that says a lot about Jasmine and, what we're going to be dealing with. Because she's got to be feeling good coming off this win. She said she could beat Izzy. And she, we talked about how impressive Izzy was and how everyone was rooting for her and everyone wants to follow her career and have her succeed. But you only get one debut match, and Izzy lost. And she lost because Jasmine beat her. And I feel like we're never going to hear the end of that from Jasmine.
Yeah, I mean, Jasmine's going to continue to talk the game, right? Like, she's going to continue to just be like, I beat this person, I beat that person, and I'm a former Mission Pro champion, and I'm this and that. And so we'll see what happens next. But now she has this she can tout this as something that she did and she accomplished. And so we'll kind of see what happens. But Front Row's comment, for facing a former champion in Jasmine Allure was a tall task, but Izzy showed real heart. And I think that's what's important, is like, this was a match that was so emotional. Like, I'm trying to remember the last time I saw a match that emoted so much, like on screen and in the room. So I think this was something that you can't make happen. It's just something that happens.
Yeah, for sure.
Izzy shut up those haters who didn't like that she was taking bumps at 10 when Izzy posted her journey online. I mean, that's true. Like, Izzy's had to fight back through a lot of stuff. But we'll definitely probably hear Jasmine talk it up soon. Maybe we'll get her on and hear what she thinks about this match that she had with Izzy. But yeah, if you all want to watch it, go back and on Title Match Network. I'm sure the whole wrestling world will continue to talk about this match as people go on and watch it. And I'm excited to see where Izzy goes from here and what her other opponents will be like and what her journey is. Like, this is just the beginning, and it's always exciting to see someone have their moment and continue to do so. All right. Are you ready for the main event, Veda?
Yes. We got to talk about this.
Okay. We have to talk about this. This is huge. So again, we had for the main event, I'm going to put this graphic up because there you go. We had Genocide versus Tiffany Nieves, and this was for the Mission Pro Wrestling Championship. And there's no way to break it. We all know what happened. Tiffany Nieves defeated Genocide to become the next Mission Pro Wrestling champion. And again, Tiffany Nieves won that number 1 contenders match against Emmy Camacho. She made her debut, I think, I'm going to probably get this number wrong, like 4 or 5 matches ago.
Mm-hmm.
So 5 shows. I think she's had 5 matches. So this is a huge deal. Like, we're in a new era. La Princesa is now the Mission Pro Wrestling champion. And so I want people in the chat to let us know what you think about this new Tiffany era. And this was another emotional moment for me watching, is Genocide has been there from the beginning. Genocide has been one of the original Mission Pro roster members, has been through all of the changes at Mission Pro, has been through competitors after competitors, opponents. She's been through tables and been through wild matches, right? And it's incredible to see her at this moment just get the kind of the love and respect that she deserves by the Mission Pro fans. They were chanting for her, and it was a beautiful moment, I think, for both of them in very different ways.
Yeah, and Jenna has been, like you said, just seemingly so unstoppable. But we talked about this a little bit when this match was made official, when Tiffany won the number 1 contendership. Tiffany is someone who, and we talked to her about this, and I think this is kind of similar to how Jenna handles her, her training, her wrestling. Tiffany is so determined and so focused, and she's overcome so much. And I feel like when you have 2 personalities like that are just so driven and so devoted, that maybe is the moment where things shifted, like you said, for Mission Pro. And then that is no disrespect to the former champ at all, but she ran up against someone who was not going to be stopped.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, is we know that Tiffany would go to any lengths to make this win happen. We've seen her do it. And what's interesting is I was looking up some of the previous the previous Mission Pro champions, and what's wild is Holodead and Genocide are tied for the longest Mission Pro Wrestling championship reign at 329 days. And
so almost a year.
So what's wild is Saturday was 329 days that Genocide held the title.
Well, now I guess we have to see if once Tiffany hears that, that her goal is going to be to surpass that 100%.
Yeah. And then La Rosa Negra is 316 days. So she almost hit that record. And Jasmine is the shortest Mission Pro Wrestling championship.
That's almost like a technical champion.
It's 4 minutes. But yes, front row saying mad respect for Genocide and her dominant run as Mission Pro Wrestling champion. I mean, she is definitely dominant, has put in so much heart, and she always gives back to the kids too. She gives back to the Salvation Army. She's been like Santa Genocide, where she gives all of the toys to the kids around the holidays. And it's a beautiful thing. You need a champion that's going to champion for more than just a title, but for the community and for the fans. Mission Pro, what do you all think will be Tiffany's first title defense? Let us know. Put that in the chat or think about it and tag us. Let us know.
Well, Joseph just reminded us that Lady Bird does have the cup. That means that she could cash it in for a Mission Pro title match if she wants to. But then other people have brought up the whole tag title thing too, and that's interesting. But that's even if it's not necessarily set up to be Tiffany's first challenger, as long as Lady Bird has that cup, you have to imagine that she's literally one step away from challenging. So,
I mean, it's true. I mean, we have to kind of be on edge. I feel like Tiffany, I feel like Bougie Reality, they're going to have, again, champions have their little targets on their backs where, Lady Bird's going to be walking around. I want to see pictures of her at the grocery store with this Mission Pro cup. Around Texas, because she has to hold on to that. Because again, it can happen anywhere at any time to anyone. So,
well, and then in the chat, we have Mike and Bob saying what I was kind of going to also think might possibly be my answer, and that's Alejandra. And my reasoning for that is, maybe she didn't, win the gauntlet match, but that's a very, very difficult task. But she is someone who, like, the level of aggressiveness that she has been showing from event to event in Mission Pro, she's just ruthless. And I feel like the next step for her is going to be to try to claw her way to that championship. So I could definitely see her coming into title contention.
Yeah, I mean, like the tag titles, I know I feel like that's always on her mind. Like, is she going to go back to Gigi and talk about it? Like, because it's a team effort kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think there's, Bob Burger can pick any moment she wants. I'm trying to make sure I catch all of your comments.
But yeah, and somebody else, Big Mike also mentioned Jasmine, because we talked about how Jasmine had such a short title reign. She wants the belt back. And now that she's beaten Izzy like that, she's riding a little bit of momentum, like it or not. So I feel like she's always kind of in the conversation too.
Yeah, I don't know about this. She could, at a non-Mission Pro, I feel where those champions go, they will have to look out for her. Yeah, I don't know if she would do that at a non-Mission Pro event.
Right now, so my take on Lady Bird is, although, she can cash it in anytime, so far, it really seems like she wants to do things the right way, which we don't always get out of everyone at Mission Pro. Like, there are lots of corners cut frequently.
We've seen it by Men's Worth at least.
Yeah,
even
frequently.
Tiffany, I mean, she said in her post-match promo, Tiffany said that she is, she doesn't mind cheating to pretty much get what she wants.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's not how, I mean, that's how I guess Mission Pro champions talk. But
I feel like, at least for right now, I mean, who knows what holding the cup will do to her, but Lady Bird seems to, like, kind of want to do things the right way for now. So I don't know.
Wants to do things the right way. Tiffany, I don't know. I don't know so much.
Yeah.
We obviously saw, in this match and previous matches that she doesn't necessarily always like.
Well, and that is interesting too, because when you have a champion who is willing to do anything to hold on that title, to cheat, that sometimes can mean that the challenger has to maybe, up those stakes a little bit and do things that are a little out of character. So that is a very, very different kind of champion than Jenna was. So I don't know. Like you said, things are very, very different in Mission Pro today.
Yeah, it's a whole new, I think Lady Bird said it's a new era of her, of the Mission Pro Cup. It's a whole new era of Mission Pro Wrestling, because we have 2 new champions, and this is where it gets really exciting.
Yeah, and we got just about 2 months until the next show, so.
2 months, October 21st, Thriller. Tickets are on sale. I guess I have to, relearn the Thriller dance. I think maybe we'll have a little Mission Pro flash mob at the next show.
And like you said, there's going to be a costume contest, correct? So
yes, costume contest and so much more shenanigans and fun things, I'm sure. But get those tickets, and we'll announce all of the other fun things coming down the line on our social media platforms. So follow Mission Pro Wrestling everywhere on all social platforms, because that's where we'll make some announcements. Or you can watch our Tuesday shows or our Thursday shows, Mission Pro Unmatched, where we break down all the news and all the fun things happening in women's wrestling. And so you don't want to miss that. And get those tickets. And if you haven't watched the show, you got to go watch it on Title Match Network. But if you did watch it again.
Yeah. You got to watch at least that title match and Izzy's match. Like, you got to rewatch those.
Yes. And the gauntlet match. The gauntlet match was really fun.
Yeah.
Well, Veda, this was like, I tried to keep it within an hour. We kind of sped through that.
Well, we got to meet Jael too, and that was really cool. So
I want to give one more quick shout out to all of our amazing sponsors that helped put on Boiling Point. We had Rattler's Transmission. We had Nation's Corner. Also, some of the members are in the chat. We had Southwestern Academy. We had, of course, Title Match Network and the Salvation Army of San Antonio Mission Corps for helping us put on this show. We couldn't have done it without you. So again, thank you all so much. Seriously, you're so amazing. We can't wait for the next show because we have some exciting things planned. And yeah, October 21st, save the dates.
Yes.
All right, Veda, where can everyone follow you?
Yeah, so right down there you'll see it says @It's Veda Time, and it's also in the link for the show. Probably a lot of you are already following me, but if you're not, please do it. It is extra important this week because on Thursday, whether obviously you're going to be watching the other Mission Pro podcast, but open up a second window because Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, I am hosting a live Fightertainment Spectacular show. You want to check it out. There's a lot of really cool people on it. It's live wrestling, live interactive wrestling. So it's free to watch on Twitch. So open up a second window and come check us out.
That's amazing. That sounds so much fun. And am I supposed to say where? Well, we both will be in the same city.
Yeah,
this weekend.
well, I'm always very close to Philadelphia, but I will be in Philadelphia this weekend, and so will you. So check that out.
Yeah, so we'll both be around. I'm sure you all can figure it out. But follow me on all social platforms right there, Emily May Heller. Follow Mission Pro Wrestling. Hit that subscribe button to Mission Pro Wrestling, and hit that bell notification so you know when we go live for shows like this. And let us know who you would like to see on a mission. If we haven't talked to someone that you want us to talk to, let us know. We always love to hear from new guests. So thank you all so much for your support and for all of the Mission Pro love. Thank you all so much and have a great night. We'll see you soon.